Okay, so let's talk about 7, 8. Let's do the next step because they're all kind of like dealing with elimination. So this one's just asking for the first step again, guys. Okay, so there's not really work here, but you have to understand that when dealing with elimination, you have to find or create opposite terms. And so you really needed to know what that means. Okay, opposite terms in the notes, we gave the example of 7x and a negative 7x. Okay, we talked about there's a sign change, that they cancel each other out. That's the key because that's what we're doing for elimination. So on here are your in class I tend to say here's your x terms, here's your y terms. Sorry, there's that. Here's your constants. They have to be lined up so you can see them. And right off the bat, hopefully, you saw that the y's were the opposite terms. So you needed to add the two equations to eliminate the y terms. Not the x terms, no dividing, no multiplying. We only multiply if we don't have opposite terms. So that was just explaining the first step, knowing what you need to know when solving elimination, okay? And so maybe going back to those notes to identify that. So tell me why you missed it and what can you do better next time. And give me your original answer, and there really wasn't really rework in here. Just had to know some facts about opposite terms. Now here's when we're working it out, okay? Because now they want you to solve it. Solve the system by elimination. So I am checking if this is a specific method. I am checking that you're doing that method correctly. So we have, I'm going to start the rework right here. So here we already talked about these are the opposite terms. And then when we add them, the y's cancel. So you have to add everything else. So what I was looking for is 6x equals a negative 6 on your paper. Because you had a negative 10 and plus a positive 4. And then from here, I was checking, and some of you did this mentally, but you got to x equals a negative 1. And then to find your y, okay, good thing I didn't do multiple answer choices with the negative 1 as an x. You have to, and usually what I say is plug back in, okay? And you plug it back in, and you tell me which equation you want to plug it back in. I would have probably picked the second one. Okay. So instead of having an x here, I'm now plugging in that negative 1 instead. So you still have your 2. 3y equals 4. Well, this is showing 2 times a negative 1. So that gives me negative 2 plus 3y equals 4. So to solve for y, you have to isolate this y. So that requires you adding 2 on both sides. So you got 3y equals 6. And then you're going to divide by 3. So y equals 2. Sorry I didn't work it out in this box that you have on your paper. But so we're looking, your answers, guys, are order pairs with the x first, comma the y. We knew our x was negative 2. There it is right there. I mean, negative 1. And our y was 2. So this was the answer choice you should have picked. Okay. So you had another elimination question here. Now the difference here, okay, we've got our x terms lined up, but they're not opposite. We have a 2, a positive 2 here, and a positive 6. They're not opposite. We need those numbers to be the same, to be opposite, excuse me. So here we have a negative y and a negative 3y. Again, not opposites. Okay, and then we have our constants. So to me, whenever we do not have opposites, we have to create an opposite term. And to do that, it's by multiplying. Sometimes it's both equations, sometimes it's one equation. For this one, all I needed to do is multiply this top equation by negative 3. Because I want a 3 in front of that y, and I want it to be positive. Since I already have a minus, I got to multiply by -3. And that means each term. So what we would have was a -6x plus 3y equals -33. And then a second equation states, so we have 6x minus 3y equals 15. Okay, so now you can add to eliminate the y's, but also the x's get eliminated. So that means you have 0 here, okay? 0 is going to equal, what is it, -18. Okay, so this is a false statement. This is false. 0 cannot equal a -18. 0 can equal 0. So when I have a false, then what you really have is what we call a no solution. And so some of you, I gave you credit because you showed the false statement. Some of you showed just maybe the -18. -18 what? So some of you wrote false, and so I gave you partial credit for that, but because we're solving, that needed to be no solution, okay? All right, so let me stop that. If you are ready or you need 9 or 10, that's going to be on the next video.